Changing your mindset is the first and most critical step in transforming your life. Our thoughts shape our reality, and the way we think about ourselves, our goals, and the world around us will determine the actions we take and the outcomes we achieve. Many people go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations based on old beliefs and habits without ever questioning whether those beliefs are serving them. If you want to start a new life or make a significant change, you must begin by changing the way you think. The first thing to understand is that your mindset isn't something fixed. It's not a permanent state of being. Mindset is fluid, and it can be reshaped and redefined. Your thoughts are not facts. They are simply interpretations of the world around you. When you begin to realize that your mindset is a choice, you empower yourself to change it. The power lies in your ability to choose which thoughts to focus on and which to dismiss. If you've been thinking negatively about yourself, your situation, or your future, you can choose to change those thoughts. By replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones, you can change the course of your life. One of the most profound shifts you can make is moving from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. A fixed mindset believes that abilities and intelligence are set in stone, that you are either good at something or you're not, and that failure is a reflection of your inherent worth. In contrast, a growth mindset is based on the belief that abilities can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. When you embrace a growth mindset, you stop seeing challenges as obstacles and start seeing them as opportunities to learn and grow. You begin to believe that you are capable of learning new skills and improving, no matter where you start. This shift in thinking opens up possibilities for growth that would otherwise be out of reach. Another critical component of changing your mindset is self-talk. The way you speak to yourself has a direct impact on how you view the world and your place in it. If your inner dialogue is filled with self-doubt, negativity, or criticism, it can hold you back from taking action. On the other hand, positive self-talk can boost your confidence, increase your resilience, and help you stay motivated. Start paying attention to the way you talk to yourself. Are you supportive, kind, and encouraging? Or are you constantly putting yourself down and telling yourself you're not good enough? Begin the process of reframing negative thoughts into positive affirmations. Instead of saying, "I'm not capable of this," try saying, "I'm learning and growing and I'll get better with time." This simple shift can make a huge difference in how you approach challenges and opportunities. When you change your mindset, you also change the way you respond to setbacks and failures. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and it's something that everyone experiences. However, people with a fixed mindset tend to see failure as a reflection of their abilities or self-worth. They give up quickly and avoid challenges that might lead to failure. In contrast, those with a growth mindset view failure as a natural part of the learning process. They understand that failure doesn't define them. It's simply feedback that tells them what to improve or adjust. When you change your mindset to see failure as an opportunity to learn, you become more resilient and persistent. You stop being afraid of making mistakes and start using them as stepping stones to success. Your mindset also influences your ability to stay focused on your goals. If you have a mindset that is easily swayed by external circumstances or distractions, you will find it hard to make progress. On the other hand, when you cultivate a mindset of discipline and focus, you will be better equipped to stay committed to your goals, even when things get tough. This is why having a clear vision of your goals is so important. When you know exactly what you want and why you want it, it becomes easier to ignore distractions and stay on track. A focused mindset helps you break down big goals into smaller, manageable steps and tackle them one by one, rather than feeling overwhelmed by the larger picture. It's also important to recognize that your mindset impacts your relationships. If you view the world through a lens of scarcity, where opportunities are limited and people are threats, your relationships may suffer. However, when you adopt a mindset of abundance, you begin to see the world as full of opportunities for collaboration and growth. You start to believe that success is not a zero-sum game, and you are more likely to build positive, supportive relationships with others. The way you approach relationships, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, can make a significant impact on your overall success and happiness. When you come from a place of openness and generosity, You invite more positivity and support into your life. Changing your mindset also involves being aware of the influence of your environment. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the places you spend your time all have a profound impact on your mindset. If you're constantly around people who complain, criticize, or focus on limitations, it can be challenging to maintain a positive and growth-oriented mindset. On the other hand, if you surround yourself with individuals who inspire you, challenge you to grow, and encourage you to push past your limits, you'll find it easier to shift your mindset. Your environment should be a place that nurtures your growth and supports your aspirations. Take a look at the people and influences in your life and ask yourself, are they helping me grow, or are they keeping me stuck in old patterns? Finally, changing your mindset requires consistent practice. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a process that takes time and effort, but it's well worth the investment. Every time you choose to think differently, you're rewiring your brain to think in more productive and empowering ways. Over time, these changes become ingrained, and you'll find yourself thinking and acting in alignment with the life you want to create. Keep working on your mindset, and eventually it will become your default way of thinking, one that opens the door to endless possibilities and success. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you can make. It shifts your mindset from being a passive observer of your circumstances to becoming the active creator of your own reality. Responsibility means acknowledging that you are the one in control of your life, your decisions, and your actions, and that you are not at the mercy of external forces. This is a powerful realization because once you understand that you are the architect of your life, you also realize that you have the power to change it. Many people, unfortunately, live with a sense of victimhood, blaming others or external situations for their circumstances. They might blame their upbringing, their boss, their partner, or even the government for their problems. While external factors can undoubtedly influence our lives, giving them control over our happiness and success limits our potential. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming others and start looking at yourself as the person who has the ability to overcome any challenge. It's about understanding that your circumstances do not define you and that you have the power to change them through the choices you make. Taking responsibility also means accepting ownership of your mistakes and failures. Everyone makes mistakes. This is part of being human. But rather than shying away from failure or attempting to deflect blame, taking responsibility involves recognizing mistakes as opportunities for learning and growth. When you embrace responsibility, you stop making excuses and start looking for ways to improve. Each failure becomes a valuable lesson that helps you grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. The most successful people in the world are not those who avoid mistakes, but those who take responsibility for them, learn from them, and keep moving forward. A major part of taking responsibility is realizing that your success is not dependent on the circumstances you are in, but rather on the choices you make in those circumstances. It's easy to think that success requires perfect conditions, ideal timing, the right resources, the perfect environment. But this is rarely the case. The most successful people understand that success comes from making the most of what you have, where you are. You don't need perfect conditions. You need to take responsibility for your situation and take action, even when things aren't ideal. It's about finding a way, not making excuses. When you take full responsibility for your life, you also take control of your emotional responses. Many people feel like their emotions are something outside of their control, like they are simply at the mercy of how they feel. But the truth is, you have more control over your emotions than you might think. Emotions are reactions to thoughts, and by changing the way you think, you can change how you feel. When you take responsibility for your emotions, you stop letting them dictate your actions. Instead of reacting impulsively to challenges or disappointments, you start to choose how to respond, which allows you to maintain control over your life. Taking responsibility also means owning your success. It's easy to attribute our achievements to luck, timing, or external circumstances, but real success comes when you take credit for the hard work, effort, and decisions that led to your accomplishments. By taking responsibility for your success, you reinforce the belief that you have the power to achieve anything you set your mind to. You stop waiting for someone else to give you credit or recognition, and instead you become the person who celebrates your own achievements, no matter how small. Another crucial aspect of responsibility is setting clear goals and holding yourself accountable for achieving them. It's not enough to simply wish for a better life. You have to take responsibility for actively working toward that life. This means setting specific, measurable, and achievable goals and taking deliberate steps every day to move closer to them. It also means being honest with yourself about whether you're putting in the effort required to reach those goals. If you fall short, taking responsibility means reassessing your approach and making the necessary changes, rather than making excuses or blaming external factors. Accountability is a key part of this process. You are responsible for keeping yourself on track and taking action, even when the path gets difficult. The benefits of taking responsibility are immense. First and foremost, it gives you a sense of control over your life. When you realize that you are the one who determines your future, it's incredibly empowering. This sense of control leads to greater confidence because you begin to understand that you have the ability to navigate whatever challenges come your way. It also fosters a sense of ownership and pride in your accomplishments, as you are actively shaping your own destiny. Taking responsibility is also liberating because it shifts you from a reactive mindset to a proactive one. Instead of reacting to the world around you and letting external circumstances dictate your actions, you become the one who decides how you will respond. This leads to greater emotional resilience because you are no longer at the mercy of life's ups and downs. When you take responsibility, you realize that no matter what happens, you have the power to choose how you respond, and that gives you a sense of stability and inner strength. When you stop blaming others or external conditions for your problems, you also stop giving away your power. You stop feeling like a victim and start feeling like the hero of your own story. This is a powerful shift that can transform your entire life. Instead of waiting for others to change or for circumstances to improve, you take charge of your life and your actions. You realize that your success or failure is entirely within your control, and that's an incredibly empowering realization. Ultimately, taking full responsibility for your life is about realizing that you are the one who creates your reality. You are not a passive participant in your life, you are the creator of it. Every thought, every decision, every action you take shapes the path you are on. When you take responsibility for your life, you understand that you have the power to change, to grow, and to succeed. And that, my friends, is the most powerful gift you can give yourself. Getting clear about what you want is one of the most powerful things you can do to move forward in life. Without clarity, it's easy to feel lost, overwhelmed, and unsure of where to go. Many people live their lives reacting to circumstances or following the path that others have laid out for them. But the key to true fulfillment is in knowing exactly what you want and aligning your actions with that vision. When you get clear about your goals, desires, and dreams, you set a powerful direction for your life and create a roadmap for achieving success. The first step in achieving clarity is taking the time to ask yourself what you truly want. This may sound simple, but it's actually a deeply introspective process. Most people are so caught up in the busyness of life that they rarely take a moment to reflect on their true desires. They might know what they don't want, perhaps a job they dislike or a relationship that isn't fulfilling, but they often struggle to articulate what they actually want. To get clear, you need to take the time to pause, reflect, and dig deep into your own heart and mind. Ask yourself, what would my ideal life look like? What kind of relationships do I want? What does success mean to me? By taking this time to answer these questions honestly, you'll begin to uncover your true desires and create a clear picture of the life you want to live. Once you've identified what you want, it's essential to turn those desires into specific, measurable goals. Vague goals like, I want to be happy or I want to be successful, are not enough to guide your actions. You need to get specific. For example, if your goal is to improve your career, Set specific objectives, such as I want to land a promotion within the next year, or I want to increase my income by 20% in the next 12 months. Specific goals provide a clear target to aim for and allow you to track your progress. The more specific and measurable your goals are, the easier it will be to create a plan and take action. With clarity comes focus. When you know exactly what you want, you stop wasting time on things that don't serve your goals. Many people spend their days distracted by tasks and activities that don't align with their long-term desires. Whether it's checking social media, attending unnecessary meetings, or getting caught up in other people's drama, distractions take away from the time and energy you could be dedicating to your goals. When you get clear about what you want, you naturally begin to prioritize the things that matter most. This focus allows you to eliminate distractions and stay on track as you work toward your goals. It's important to remember that success is not just about doing more, it's about doing what matters. Another key to getting clear about what you want is aligning your values with your goals. Your values are the principles and beliefs that guide your actions. They are the things that are most important to you and give your life meaning. When you align your goals with your values, you create a deep sense of purpose and motivation. For example, if one of your core values is family and your goal is to advance in your career, you might find a way to balance your work-life schedule to ensure that you're spending quality time with your loved ones while still working toward career success. When your goals align with your values, you're more likely to feel fulfilled and motivated to keep moving forward, even when the going gets tough. Clarity also gives you the confidence to make decisions. Life is full of choices, and when you're unsure about what you want, making decisions can feel overwhelming. Should you take that new job? Should you start that business? Should you move to a new city? When you're clear about your goals and desires, making decisions becomes much easier because you know which path aligns with your vision for your life. You can confidently choose what's right for you without second guessing or feeling uncertain. The more clarity you have, the easier it is to make decisions that move you in the direction of your dreams. Another benefit of clarity is that it helps you set realistic expectations. When you don't have a clear vision of what you want, it's easy to set goals that are either too vague or too unrealistic. You might say, I want to be rich, but without a clear understanding of what that means to you or how to achieve it, that goal is unlikely to lead anywhere. Clarity helps you break down your goals into manageable steps and understand what's required to reach them. For example, if your goal is to build financial wealth, you might break it down into smaller objectives like saving a specific amount of money each month, investing in certain assets, or improving your financial literacy. This way you have a clear roadmap to follow and you can set realistic expectations about how long it will take to achieve your goals. Clarity also allows you to measure progress. When you know exactly what you want and have specific goals in mind, you can track your progress and celebrate small wins along the way. It's easy to get discouraged if you don't have a clear sense of how far you've come or how much further you need to go. But when you have defined goals and clear steps to take, you can regularly check in with yourself to see how you're progressing. This sense of accomplishment fuels your motivation and helps you stay focused on the next steps. It also provides a sense of direction. When you know what you're working toward, you can see how each action brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Finally, clarity gives you a sense of peace. When you're unsure about what you want, life can feel like a constant struggle. You might feel overwhelmed by the endless possibilities or uncertain about which direction to take. But when you get clear about your goals and desires, you experience a sense of calm because you know where you're headed. Clarity eliminates confusion and doubt, allowing you to move forward with confidence. It brings a sense of alignment between your thoughts, actions, and aspirations. And that alignment is the key to creating the life you want. Success is not achieved overnight. It is the result of consistent actions and incremental progress over time. Many people seek immediate gratification, but the reality is that lasting success is built by showing up every day and putting in the work, even when results are not immediately visible. The power of small, consistent actions lies in their ability to compound and create lasting results. It's the small steps taken every day that eventually lead to big breakthroughs. And understanding this principle is essential to achieving any long-term goal. One of the key elements of consistency is persistence. Life is full of challenges and obstacles that can easily derail progress. However, those who succeed understand that setbacks are simply a part of the process. Instead of letting setbacks discourage them, they view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Persistence is about continuing to move forward, even when progress seems slow or when the road is not as smooth as expected. Each time you get up after a failure or a disappointment, you become stronger, more resilient, and more capable of handling future challenges. Persistence is the quality that keeps you going when others give up. And it's often the deciding factor between those who succeed and those who don't. Consistency is also about focusing on the long-term vision, not the short-term results. Many people are tempted to quit when they don't see immediate results, but true success takes time. You cannot expect to see dramatic changes after just a few efforts. It's about the steady, unrelenting work that compounds over time. Think of it like investing money. If you put a small amount into an investment every month, it may not seem like much in the beginning, but over time it will grow and compound. The same principle applies to personal and professional growth. Every small effort you make adds up, even if you don't see it right away. The key is to stay focused on the long-term goal and keep putting in the effort day after day, trusting that the results will come eventually. Another important aspect of consistency is habit formation. Habits are the foundation of success because they automate behavior and allow you to take action without much thought or effort. When you build good habits, you set yourself up for success without needing constant motivation. For example, if you make it a habit to write for 30 minutes every morning, you don't need to think about it. It becomes a part of your routine. Over time, these small actions add up and help you make consistent progress toward your goals. Good habits also help you stay disciplined and avoid distractions. The more you practice a behavior, the easier it becomes and the more natural it feels. Once something becomes a habit, you don't have to force yourself to do it. It becomes second nature. Consistency also means holding yourself accountable. It's easy to let things slip or make excuses when no one is watching, but true success comes from being accountable to yourself. When you hold yourself accountable, you are taking responsibility for your actions, your choices, and your outcomes. This requires honesty and discipline. It's about setting clear goals and ensuring that you take the necessary steps to reach them, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. Accountability is about being honest with yourself about what you've accomplished and what still needs work. It's about tracking your progress and making adjustments when necessary. When you are accountable, you take full ownership of your success, and you don't rely on anyone else to make things happen for you. An important factor in building consistency is being able to track progress and measure results. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate improvements, but tracking your progress allows you to recognize how far you've come. Even small progress is progress, and it's important to celebrate those small wins along the way. Tracking progress helps you stay motivated, and it provides a sense of accomplishment that keeps you moving forward. For example, if your goal is to lose weight, tracking your diet and exercise can help you see how much you've improved over time, even if the changes aren't immediate. Tracking progress also helps you identify areas where you may need to adjust your approach. If something isn't working, consistency means being willing to reevaluate your strategy and make changes as necessary to continue moving forward. Consistency isn't just about putting in the work, it's also about maintaining the right mindset. A positive, growth-oriented mindset is essential to staying consistent in the face of adversity. When things get tough or results seem slow, it's easy to become discouraged. However, those who succeed are the ones who maintain a mindset of optimism and persistence. They understand that setbacks and challenges are a natural part of the process, and they don't let these temporary obstacles derail them. Maintaining a positive mindset helps you stay focused on your goals, even when the road ahead feels long or uncertain. It allows you to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow rather than as reasons to quit. Consistency also involves creating an environment that supports your goals. Your environment plays a significant role in your ability to stay consistent. If you are constantly surrounded by distractions, negative influences, or people who don't support your goals, it can be difficult to maintain focus and consistency. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with positive influences, whether that's supportive friends, mentors, or an environment that encourages productivity, you create the conditions necessary for success. A supportive environment reinforces your commitment to your goals and provides the motivation you need to keep going. Finally, consistency means being patient with yourself. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it's important to give yourself grace as you work toward your goals. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and failure. But consistency is about continuing to show up, even on the tough days. It's about understanding that progress is not always linear, and some days will feel harder than others. However, the key to success is to keep going even when the results aren't immediately visible. The more you stay consistent, the more progress you make, and eventually the results will show up in ways that you never expected. It's the power of small, consistent actions that will ultimately lead you to success. In conclusion, success is not the result of a single action, but the accumulation of consistent, purposeful steps taken over time. The power of small, consistent actions cannot be overstated. They build momentum, create lasting results, and shape the path to your ultimate goals. Through persistence, discipline, and a clear focus, you can turn your dreams into reality. The key is to show up every day, no matter the challenges, and trust that the effort you put in today will pay off tomorrow. Success isn't about perfection. It's about consistently taking meaningful actions, adjusting when necessary, and continuing to move forward with a positive, resilient mindset.